Welcome back. SDSU kicked off their spring game at 6 p.m. this past Friday with a lot of Jackrabbit fans looking to see what the offense would look like without Dallas Goedert and Jake Winicki. So they're playing a game-type format with the number one offense going up against the number one defense, twos against the twos. This is Cannon Nelson. He's from Mitchell, quarterbacking the second-team offense. Played well, got picked off early. Chase Templeman, redshirt freshman linebacker from Gretna, Nebraska, gets the pick six to start the scoring. More defense, boom! It is Logan Backhouse, bringing the hammer down. He will be a returning starter this fall for the Jacks. But back to Cannon Nelson. Got some snaps with the first-team offense, and strong throw, great catch by Cade Johnson for a touchdown. Then it was the running backs. Mikey Daniel and Isaac Wallace will be returning, but the backups look good on Saturday. Pierre Strong, nifty, shifty little run for the TD, but the Blue squad with the first-team offense wins it. Here's Coach Stig talking about Taryn Christian after the game.
Yeah, nothing bothers Taryn. I mean, it bothered him that he played like that. It bothered him because he's such a competitor and he leads this football team. But he's a winner in every sense, and it wasn't a flippant, such as life. It affected him, but he's able to move on. And inside, I know he thinks about that. Yeah. I know it motivates him to be better, and you can see how poised he is. I was telling the radio guys, 6 o'clock in the morning we're practicing, 7 o'clock, and he gets a call, and we wrote out the script. The coaches did, and he said, I think this is called wrong. I think it should be the other formation. Yeah. He's right 100% of the time.
You weren't able to be out there with your team, but what did you like to see that they accomplished here today?
Yeah, it's just fun to see the young guys flying around, having fun, and actually playing a live game. It's good to see that. So.
All right, now joined by Tom Neiman. He called that Jackrabbit spring game from Friday. We saw some solid stuff in the highlight reel, Tom.
Fun, yes.
Yes, but you saved the play of the night for yourself to talk about, so let's hear it.
Sorry, I did. It's right here. I think we have it. Taryn Christian and Jacob Brown, one of their young wide receivers, hooked up for 2 touchdowns. And the first one was spectacular. Brown with the Spider-Man snag there for a touchdown. He's going to be a junior coming up this fall. One of a handful of smaller, very fast wide receivers, Kelly, that the Jacks are going to have coming back. They've got Brown, they've got Cade Johnson, Marquise Lewis, and a redshirt freshman named Dion Campbell, who are kind of all in that same mold. And those 4 are going to be able to stretch defenses down the field, also side to side with fly sweeps, screens to the wide receivers, whatever, to get those guys out in the open field and let them make people miss, let them make moves. So absolutely, Taryn Christian looked great, and the wide receivers are going to be exciting coming up this fall.
Well, those 4 you just talked about, one's from Arizona, 2 from Omaha, one's from the Twin Cities. But let's talk about the South Dakota kids, because there are quite a few. What kind of impact will the South Dakota kids, the home state kids, have on the Jacks?
I think it's going to be a big impact. You got Taryn Christian at quarterback, Cannon Nelson from Mitchell. He's the number 2 quarterback right now. So you got that backfield. You got Mikey Daniel from Brookings at one of the running back spots, and then some of the other guys here, especially up front. You got Alex Wilde from Brandon Valley at wideout, and then on the offensive line. Look at all these guys. 54 is Eddie Miller. He's from Brookings. Wes Janant is number 77 there from Parkston. Evan Greenway from Yankton is on the other side. Grant Schmidt, one of the transfer guys, is from Sioux Falls on that offensive line. So you got all those guys on defense. Lorenzo Williams is from Woolsey, Wessington. Xavier Ward is from Canastota. He'd be on the defensive line. Crockett Krolikowski from Winter on the line. So on down the line, South Dakota kids making an impact. I love to see this. You got the kicker and the punter.
Yep.
Vinatieri's from Sioux Falls. Brady Hale is from Yankton. That is 11 starters, or potential starters maybe, that played high school football in South Dakota. So yeah, you mix all those guys together. They've got great recruiting in Nebraska right now, a lot of those Omaha guys and out of the Twin Cities, and put all that together. But South Dakota guys will have a huge impact again this year.
That's always great to see. And we saw Elena talking with Christian Roseboom, obviously not in the pads for the game. What's the status on him? What's going on?
Had hip surgery in the off season, but Christian Roseboom, their leading tackler last year, was second in the Missouri Valley. He will be back definitely by the time spring practice starts, and he'll be leading a really good linebacker cast. So there were 10 or 11 guys that didn't play in the spring game, but Roseboom definitely is one that was out, but will be back.
All right, great stuff. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Stewie.
All right, coming up after the break, we'll take it to Vermillion for highlights and reaction from the Coyotes spring football exhibition, including a catch that earned the #1 play on SportsCenter's Top 10. Stay tuned.